Hi friends. Today we find out the section modulus of 4 pile group, which is used in the design of pile foundation, which will vary uh, uh, with the traffic or transverse direction in which foundation is lay on the ground. Generally, pile foundation is used with the different type of groups: 4 pile group, 3 pile group, 6 pile group, 10 pile group, or 8 pile group, 12 pile group. It can vary. So when different pile groups having different section modulus as per the number of pile or as per the dimension and in that section. So today we will discuss on the 4 pile group uh, section modulus in traffic and transverse direction. So this is my plan, which consists of the 4 pile group with the 1.2 diameter pile, and here we create a distance of pile to center distance of a pile 3.6, which is a 3 times of the dia of the pile. And 1.8 meter distance is to the center of the pile to center of the pier location. Generally we take 0.150 meter offset from the pile edge, which is according to the IRC 78 uh, IRC 78 2014, I think. All corners having 0.150 meter offset from the all sides of the pile. So here our pile having a section of 5.1 into 5.1 with 5.1 into 5.1 in both direction in longitudinal and transverse. Longitudinal and transverse direction is also known as a traffic or transverse direction. Generally, in design, longitudinal direction is known as a traffic direction, mm, and perpendicular to that is known as a transverse direction. So today we will find out the section modulus of the 4 pile group in transverse and in traffic direction with a very simple way according to the codes or according in general practice which we use. Here generally we take the depth of the pile cap is 1.5 time of the dia of the pile. Here we consider a dia of 1.2 dia of the pile. So in this case we will consider 1.5 into 1.2. So uh, according to the IRC codes we take a depth of 1.8 meter in this pile cap, which will fulfill for the requirement. Or accordingly, if you need depth more than that, if your pile cap section is fail in shear, then we will take take advantage of the depth, or we increase the depth from 1.8. But according to the code, minimum depth is 1.5 time of the dia of the pile. So here we discuss the section modulus for 4 pile group. Here we number a pile accordingly. Generally we give number 1, 2, 3, 4. So serial number. So this is my x direction, x axis, which is also known as traffic direction, and in transverse direction that is y axis. So here when we consider pile number 1, that is this, so here distance from his center to the center of pier is 1.8 meter, that is here we have written. Accordingly his y distance is 1.8 in this direction to the transverse direction or y-axis, that is also known as 1.8. Here here you can also take these as a negative or positive, but in next steps when you it squares, then it automatically goes to the positive sides, because negative into negative, that will become a positive in a square. Same for pile 2, that is 1.8 in x axis and in y axis 1.8. Similarly for pile 3 and similarly for pile 4. Here distance can be changed, so accordingly you have to change the distances. According to you plot the dimension of the center to center distance of the pile. After that we have to square the distance of the pile according to their x or y direction. So here we have here we discuss for pile number 1, 1.8 distance is in the x-axis direction and 1.8 in the y-axis direction. So here after squaring, 3.24 will become, and in same in y direction also 3.24. Similarly for pile 2, pile 3 and pile 4. After that we will sum all the 4 pile summation of the x squares. So here we will get the 12.96 and same in y direction 12.96. Now the final step for the section modulus in longitudinal and in transverse direction. So when we find out the pile for pile number 1, so here we take 12 point for pile number 1, for pile number 1 as an example. So here 12.96 divided by 7.2, then we will get, so 12.96 divided by 1.8 in for pile number 1 in x-axis direction or traffic. Then we get a 7.2 section modulus for pile number 1 in longitudinal direction, or also known as x-axis or also traffic direction. Similarly for y-axis we for same for pile number 1, 12.96 divided by 1.8, that is 7.2 in y-axis or in transverse direction. In this way we can find out for pile number 2 or pile number 3, pile number 4. Here we get a 7.2, 7.2, 7.2 in both longitudinal or transverse direction, because here we have a equal dimension in both directions, so we get a longitudinal and transverse in 7.2 or 7.2. So thank you guys. If you like the video, keep supporting me or comment me if you want similarly like this video in future. Thank you.